Amnesty International has condemned Russia's role in Syria. It says some Russian airstrikes could amount to war crimes, but Russia denies killing civilians in its operations, claiming the allegations are part of an information war. Amnesty's report, which uses data from other agencies, says there are three main accusations. The first is that since Russia began airstrikes on September 30th, civilians have been targeted. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights says Russian airstrikes have killed 710 civilians, at least 141 of them were children. The report also claims that Russia has hit medical facilities in opposition areas. It's been accused of hitting 10 such sites in October alone. Finally, Amnesty says Moscow may be guilty of illegal bombing. Russia is accused of indiscriminately using cluster and unguided bombs, and Amnesty says that violates international humanitarian law. Well, Neil Salmons is one of the authors of the report and joins us live from London. Welcome to the programme. How have these Russian airstrikes affected civilians within Syria?
Well, I think many people in Syria would say that hell just got worse. So we know that for those particularly living in opposition-held areas, that they had been subjected to repeated attacks from the Syrian regime, indiscriminate attacks, and also what appeared to be deliberate attacks on civilian areas. Medical facilities and other civilian infrastructure has been hit. Many people have lived in besieged areas with inadequate access to life-saving equipment and so on. And then since the Russians entered the fight officially on the 30th of September, we see that they have joined effectively the Syrian regime in targeting opposition-held areas, as well as areas held by the Islamic State. And that if the statistics put forward by human rights organizations such as the Observatory are correct, then more civilians have actually been killed than Islamic State fighters.
The report also says that Russia uses cluster bombs. What more can you tell us about this?
Well, as you know, cluster bombs are like a series of bomblets which will be dispersed over a relatively wide area. There was a surge in the use of cluster bomb usage since Russia entered the fight. These are inherently indiscriminate, so they cannot be targeted adequately at single military objects. And the fact that many of them do not actually explode means that they leave a lasting risk for people living in that area. There have been many reports, and we've seen video evidence, we've spoken to witnesses. We know that camps for displaced Syrians have been hit with such strikes. And while certain allegations say that Islamic State has also used them, the majority of cases appear to have been by the Syrian regime and by the Russian forces.
Russia has always denied any of these claims. Russia has also, according to your report, falsified images to avoid international scrutiny. How did you go about finding information out about those allegations?
Yes, so for two incidents in particular, one, the attack right outside the Sarmin Field Hospital in Idlib Governorate. Russia itself said that it hit a terrorist base there, but then when reports came through with many images, with pictures of people receiving emergency first aid treatment with bloods all over the floor, Russia then said that, well, no, actually these are false. It wasn't them which did it, and there's no hospital in that area. They then put out they've put out with the attack on the Jisr al-Shugur mosque, a certain mosque there, they refused to say that they had hit it. And in fact, they said that the mosque was still intact. They showed a picture of a mosque, but it was of a different mosque. So the mosque, which we know has been hit, the Omar bin al-Khattab mosque, has been destroyed. Its minaret has been brought down, and 2 civilians there were killed. It is conceivable that the Russian Ministry of Defense did not know what it's doing, but to say so publicly and loudly that it had not hit this mosque and it had not hit this hospital is a little bit hard to believe.
Okay, Neil Salmons in London, thank you.